with Jeff Sneider.
Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to What's the Deal with Jeff Sneider, where today we're going to be talking about 10 under-the-radar movies that no one else is talking about. It's January 2nd. I've already read a ton of 2014 previews. They all highlight the same movies. We get it. We're all excited to see Interstellar, and the new X-Men, and Guardians of the Galaxy, and Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Captain America. But what about the other movies? At the top of the list, we have Luke Greenfield's action comedy Let's Be Cops, which finds New Girl stars Jake Johnson and Damon Wayans Jr. playing a couple of average guys who decide to impersonate police officers and get in way over their heads. Cop movie staple Andy Garcia plays their boss. Nina Dobrev plays the female lead. The last time Greenfield directed a Fox comedy, it was The Girl Next Door, so who knows, this could be a cult classic in the making. This may be the smallest movie that Fox ends up distributing this year, and while there's no release date yet, look for it in the late summer, early fall, after kind of the bigger studio comedies have come and gone. Next up, we have The F Word, a romantic comedy starring Daniel Radcliffe and Zoe Kazan. The title refers to the dreaded friend zone, as Kazan's character is in a relationship in the movie. I'll be honest, the real reason that I want to see this movie is the secondary relationship between Adam Driver and rising star Mackenzie Davis. The movie hails from Canadian filmmaker Michael Dowse, whose previous movies include Goon and Fubar. So here's hoping, that he's able to work his magic again. CBS Films is going to put this one out, at some point this year, but there's no release date yet. Our third film on the list is Mall, which is an adaptation of Eric Bogosian's debut novel. Animal Kingdom star James Frecheville stars as a young man who heads to a shopping mall armed to the teeth. The story follows 4 other characters, including a peeping Tom, a horny housewife, a drug-addled teenager, and a Haitian mall security guard. And the film sort of follows as these 5 characters' paths cross over the course of one evening. Linkin Park's Joseph Hahn actually directed the movie, and the band is going to provide all the music. The last movie that Linkin Park did the soundtrack for was The Raid, and we all know how that turned out. Look for this one to debut at either South by Southwest or Tribeca. Number 4, we have The Loft, which boasts a simple setup that could play well at the end of summer. It follows 5 friends who share a loft for their extramarital affairs, and then a woman is found dead in the loft, and all the friends start pointing the finger at one another. Carl Urban, James Marsden, Wentworth Miller, Eric Stonestreet, and Matthias Schoenaerts star alongside some beautiful women. The original was a solid suspense thriller that had a kind of fun whodunit mystery at its core. Joel Silver joined the project as a producer after it wrapped, so here's hoping that he saw some potential in it. Universal's going to put this one out at the end of August. Number 5 is Scott Derrickson's Deliver Us from Evil, which stars Eric Bana as a New York cop investigating paranormal crimes. The supporting cast includes Edgar Ramirez, Joel McHale, and Olivia Munn, and Jerry Bruckheimer produced this one, so expect top-notch production value if nothing else. Scott Derrickson has managed to scare up some really cool original imagery in Sinister and The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and Screen Gems appears really confident in this movie as it's putting the movie out on July 2nd. And number 6 is the Weinstein Company's St. Vincent de Van Nuys, which serves as the feature directorial debut of Ted Melfi. This may provide Bill Murray with one of his all-time best roles. He plays a misanthropic, hedonistic war veteran who forms an unlikely friendship with a boy next door whose mother is played by Melissa McCarthy. Naomi Watts co-stars as a pregnant stripper. What more could you really want, besides those 3 in a movie together? At number 7, I simply have a hunch. The found footage tornado movie Into the Storm. Natural disaster movies are hit and miss. For the impossible, there's an aftershock. But for some reason, I have faith in Final Destination 5 director Stephen Quayle, who's been working with James Cameron since The Abyss, ultimately serving as visual effects supervisor on Avatar. The film stars fan favorites Richard Armitage from The Hobbit. He plays Thorin Oakenshield, as well as Sarah Wayne Callies, who plays Laurie on The Walking Dead. This one could blow away the competition in early August if the trailer just features one single image that can top the flying cow from Twister. Number 8 is Lionsgate's Addicted. I know next to nothing about this movie other than it's based on the book by Zane. It seems pretty likely to garner controversy, though, seeing as it follows a black woman whose sex addiction threatens to ruin her family life. Sharon Leal from Dreamgirls stars alongside studs like Tyson Beckford and Boris Kodjoe. We've seen several sex addiction movies in recent years from the male perspective, so this should represent represent a nice change in point of view, and the racial aspect is certain to be another hot topic of discussion. Look for it on September 5th. Sex addiction seems like an appropriate time to segue to Disney's McFarland, which stars Kevin Costner as a track coach who transforms a ragtag team into championship contenders. The film boasts a largely Latino cast, and it'll be interesting to see whether Disney has success courting that audience. A lot of it's going to depend on whether Costner can get his mojo back this year. It's a big year for him between Jack Ryan and 3 Days to Kill and Draft Day. This is like his big comeback year, and so this movie will kind of represent a photo finish. Whale Rider director Nicky Caro could use a hit, and the Mayhem Pictures guys who produced this movie, they know how to deliver one, having been behind the hit sports dramas The Rookie, Miracle, Invincible, and Secretariat. Look for this one around Thanksgiving. And finally, we have the gritty Guy Pearce, Robert Pattinson vehicle, The Rover, which serves as director David Michôd's follow-up to Animal Kingdom. Pattinson plays a guy who helps his friends steal Guy Pearce's car, and he gets injured and left behind and ends up helping Guy Pearce track down the gang and get his car back. Joel Edgerton actually shares story credit on this one with Michaud, and A24 is going to release the Australian Outback drama at some point this year. It could be the highlight of Robert Pattinson's acting career, since his post-Twilight choices haven't really done him any favors. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt on this one. All in all, if 2014 is half as good a year for movies as 2013 was, we'll all be lucky. This has been What's the Deal with Jeff Sneider. You can always follow me on Twitter at TheInSneider. Thanks for reading TheWrap.com.
What's the deal with Jeff Sneider?